They were married. That regarding prominent Japanese VTuber Mikeneko recently joining the VoiceOre group and performing anime voice acting roles since. This VTuber having also been the talent behind VShojo's Amamiya Nazuna, and before that, she was Hololive Japan's Gen 3 member Uraha Rushia, a position that she was terminated from nearly 2 years ago. That all kicking off during a GTA stream alongside Sakura Miko. Rushia here had received a Discord DM that had appeared on her screen. That DM coming by way of Japanese singer Mafumafu. And the message reading, "I just finished streaming, I'm getting ready to go home." The text of that being interpreted in different ways, either meaning I'm going to my home versus our home. Uraha Rushia then behind the scenes trying to clear her name and allegedly revealing private information to third parties, leading to Cover Corporation to terminate their contract with that talent. And now today, a bombshell revelation has dropped, this coming by way of a Japanese weekly periodical, reporting on Mafumafu, who himself would also issue a lengthy account on his own website. The primary revelation being that he had been married and is now divorced. Many going on to link that marriage to Mikeneko. And we can now confirm through an entirely independent source exclusive to TVS that yes, it is true. Mikeneko and Mafumafu were married. Once again, this coming from an independent source exclusive to TVS. As next, we will look into Mafumafu's statement and multiple allegations, many of which we cannot yet confirm. Mafumafu himself never directly naming Mikeneko, instead referring to an Asan, leading to counter speculation that this could be regarding someone else. Further translations of Mafumafu's statement now available. This one reading, "Hello everyone, it's Mafumafu. I apologize for causing such situations again. Allow me to touch on the headline that reported, quote, married and then divorced. Currently, he's filed a lawsuit against her. Firstly, just as the article has said, I had a spouse before. I sincerely apologize for the fact that I was not able to publicly announce it and have ended up deceiving everyone. We started our relationship in the summer of 2021 and we registered our marriage at the end of December that year. Following that, we divorced in July of 2022. Mafumafu continuing on, I've never uttered a single word about this, which may result in this being an avalanche of statements to be revealed. This may cause various feelings of distress and shock to people, and I'm really sorry about that. Furthermore, to all related parties of the situation, I offer up my sincerest apologies as well. From this point forward, to avoid further lies, I've decided to tell the truth. By telling the truth, I might get sued. I might cause trouble to many people. People might never listen to my music again. I'll be hated by everyone, be told, quote, we never want to see you again, and I might never be able to perform as Mafumafu again. Even so, I don't want to lie anymore. I don't want my life hurting anymore. So I will speak on this. The contribution below is a collection of the truth from the start till the end. It's quite long, so please only read it if you'd like to know about the truth. I really had serious feelings for my partner, hereby referred to as Asan, around spring of 2021. I talked about, quote, not being able to fall in love in magazine interviews, and I realized I was unable to hold any romantic feelings for people, which was why I gave up on love and marriage. It was during that time when I met Asan, and they conveyed that they liked me, even with all my flaws and faults. My views on love might have been different from the general perspective of quote-unquote romance, but I thought that it would have been really good if we could live together supporting each other. I received a lot of opposition from my friends and acquaintances, but I ignored all the negative remarks and decided to officially be in a relationship with her, followed by marriage. There was no confusion that this was how sincere my feelings were towards Asan. I've considered announcing my marriage many times. Of course, this was a complete 360 of what I've said before about my thoughts on love and relationships, so it's true that I was afraid of speaking about this publicly. But even then, I would have preferred for this to come out from my own mouth than to have it revealed like this involuntarily. However, when we registered for our marriage, Asan was also an internet personality, hence due to the wishes of Asan and her associates, I could not announce this publicly. One incident that happened in the past made me think about speaking on everything as well. Due to all the misinformation and slander, I have tried countless times to find the best timing to announce the truth, but it didn't happen due to several circumstances. circumstances. When I was withering away in such an environment, Asan was with me. At that time, when I would object to trivial matters, she would verbally attack me. Countless days where I would cry and apologize continued, which made me think, quote, in the end, everything is just all my fault. And my days turned so dark. It was so dark, it was as if I couldn't see. Back then, I was so blinded that I wasn't sure if this was, quote unquote, normal or not. In order not to make Asan displeased, all of my behaviors were to ensure she wouldn't be angry. I would be in front of my PC every day with Line and Discord opened and would reply to all messages immediately. In a day, we would have hundreds of messages exchanged between the both of us, but even then, she would suspect that I was cheating on her. She would keep me online on the Discord 24/7 and monitor my activities. And to prove that I wasn't cheating, I would keep going on my phone even when I was sleeping. When I look back at this now, this seems unbelievable, even to me. But before, I would just accept this and continue to do it. Even in this situation where I was told, quote, you just married for the money, I would just continue to apologize without knowing much. I wasn't able to make judgments for myself. I didn't know what the best choice of actions were. And at that point, the only thing that saved me were the words given by all my important friends. I came to my senses and realized that all the words and actions I've received from Asan was moral harassment. I decided that we couldn't be together like this anymore and started to consider filing for divorce. At the start, Asan expressed her strong feelings towards this and stated that, quote, I'll reflect on everything that has happened now. I don't want to divorce. So we decided not to file for divorce and tried to find ways to solve the issues so that we could improve our relationship. I originally bought a new home for us to move in together. I thought that if we were able to live together, I would be able to remove any anxious feelings she had about our relationship. However, because our relationship had complicated into such manners, we both put distance between ourselves by having Asan move into the new home while I lived in my rented apartment. Shortly after that, Asan would start posting cryptic messages that contained negative connotations about me on social media. These messages would largely differ from the truth, and this prompted many criticisms from third parties against me. Through proxy of my lawyers, I've repeatedly told her to stop making such statements, but yet the situation didn't improve. In order to improve our relationship and to calm our mental health, we proposed to Asan to at least disclose some facts of the situation to put an end to the unceasing slander. However, Asan's representatives unanimously opposed our request by stating that, quote, she is restarting her activities in a new form, so please refrain from announcing about your marital status, and made no compromise with us about the situation. I couldn't bear Asan's attitude with her contradicting words, so at the end of May of 2022, I formally filed for divorce with a lawyer. Thereafter, without being able to tell everyone the truth, we entered into divorce proceedings with lawyers. During the process, due to my health, I decided that I would go on hiatus after Tokyo Dome. The decision to go on hiatus was a painful one that caused a lot of trouble for the people involved. Originally, I had hoped with the announcement of my hiatus, I could talk about the truth, and this would help lessen the slander going around. However, from the request of Asan's side, we couldn't talk about my marital status, and in the end, we only announced my hiatus due to, quote-unquote, medical treatment reasons. I regretted not being able to tell the truth and felt disappointed in myself for being weak. During the divorce proceedings, Asan denied the discussion, citing poor health as a reason and demanded money and other things. When discussions were stalled, it was revealed that Asan was having an affair. In the end, we settled our divorce at the end of July with no compensation settlement paid to each other. After our divorce, the new home that Asan left from was littered with so many cardboard boxes and trash that there was literally nowhere to stand on. The urn with the ashes of the pet that Asan used to raise was also left behind with the trash. I brought the urn home, and even till now, it's resting in a high spot in my living room. I've discovered Asan's betrayal after I had a conversation with a man, hereby referred to as B-san. I gained screenshots of their Discord and Line for more details and got him to explain to me by way of calls. In the screenshots, there were invitations of dates and exchanging gifts on Valentine's Day. On the day we registered our marriage from December 25th and on December 26th, she flaked on our plans for Christmas together and invited him to hang out with her during the end of the year. And even when we were settling our divorce in the middle of May, she would text me to say she wanted to get back together with me while inviting B-san to a room share with her. I still freshly remember that I laid in bed for a long time. Bison has apologized countless times, and it seems that he was a victim in this situation as well, as he didn't know about it, so we settled things amicably. Even until now, I am still good friends with Bison. But that was not all. During our divorce settlement, Ason and other parties harassed me on social media and anonymous posting forums. There were a lot of posts saying that I was a quote-unquote perpetrator of domestic violence and quote-unquote I cheated countless times with multiple women. But of course, these were all lies and not true at all. During my hiatus as well, I was harassed repeatedly and couldn't tell the truth, and I passed each day with misinformation and slander spread about me. To even fight back a little so that I could get all this misinformation and slander reduced as much as possible, I filed an information disclosure request against the anonymous posting forums. The result of that request recognized that the slander/misinformation spread was illegal, and the request was approved. As the article stated, most of the posts were written by Ason. There were a lot of hurtful comments, but one of the most cruel was quote-unquote Mafumafu killed Ason's cat by slamming the door on it. The cat that Ason raised was blind in both eyes when I met Ason. She was very friendly with me. I have 2 cats myself, and I raised them with great care. There is no way I would hurt any animals, so I have no idea how she was able to think about that, let alone even put it into words. And just as a quick interjection, it should be mentioned that yes, Uraha Rushia on stream had talked about owning a blind cat. I've been doing my activities for more than 10 years, so misinformation and slander has been a part of my everyday life. I think I would have normally not cared about it. However, Ason was the type of person who was against slander and would speak out against it. To have people like her registering for a paid membership on an anonymous posting forum to hurt people, it made me feel like I couldn't ignore it. If this goes to trial, people can listen in and everyone would be able to get the truth. If I talked about the truth online without any context, there could be errors on my end, but by bringing this to court, this will result in a lawful verdict. Due to that, knowing that everything will come to light, I decided to bring this to court. Currently, we are still suing Ason for slander and the civil trial is ongoing. Last year at the end of summer, I had a discussion with the police and they recorded my statement for 8 hours. A statement is a document made when police are investigating into a case. Ason was also called in and it was confirmed that she was sent the charges last year. I believe the prosecution is thinking of how to proceed from here currently. This might be an excuse, but I thought if the case went forward, everything will come to light, so I wanted to talk about the truth then. Finally, I believe the trial will go on and we will come back to this in the future again. There were a lot of things that I couldn't fit in here, but I've only ever wrote things that I've had clear evidence of. I don't think I've clarified enough, but this being something that I've kept in my heart for so long, I'm so glad I'm able to talk to you all about it now. Like what I've written above, I might be subjected to statements that are not true or abusive language from Ason. However, if we fight it out on a legal place, there will be a conclusion to this, so please ignore all this slander and rumors until then. No matter what happened, this doesn't change the fact that Mafumafu lied to the people who supported him. It doesn't change that I was at fault, and I will live with this fact for the rest of my life. I am really sorry. And at the end, this might be really childish of me, but I really hope that with this statement published, I hope that it will diminish the hateful content about me. Thank you very much for reading this until now. Signed, Mafumafu. Once again, those being the words from Mafumafu, posting the link to his official website on his Twitter here. And while Mikeneko is not called out specifically by name, some contesting that Mafumafu was not referring to Mikeneko, and that Mikeneko and Ason are different people. TVS once again confirming through a very trusted source that Mafumafu and Mikeneko had been married. And if Mafumafu was not referring to Mikeneko, why would he not mention that, fully knowing that it would be linked to her? His statement referring to an internet personality, a wealthy individual who has regularly spoken out against slander, along with having associates that would stop them from announcing a marriage, and this individual also owning a blind cat. As now going forward, we will see if there is any reply from Mikeneko. As of course, there are always 2 sides to any story, and we have yet to hear her side. That is all for this episode. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Send in your VTuber news to our Discord, and we'll have more things VTubers say for you soon.